So does my camera look okay and everything? Because this is a new phone, so.
Yeah, it looks fine. It's a little bit, it's just taking a second for everything to hook up. But it's showing that we're live.
Do you want me closer to the camera?
No, you're fine. I can do this. Hang on. Let me just blow us up. Okay, here we go.
Let me just make sure.
Much better. Can you see yourself now?
Yeah, I can see myself.
A little bit. Hey, Xana, thank you for sending the contribution over. Everyone that did yesterday, thank you for helping us out. That was very kind. I wasn't intending that, but it certainly helped. We got a few people coming in. We got 31 people in the house. We got the beautiful Victoria with us. Okay, so everything looks good. Let me just make sure. Right on. Okay. So, yeah, we're a little bit delayed. We had I'm down in my hometown, and my uncle, they're one of 7 children that my dad's family, and he transitioned today at 10:30. Arnold Medina, his beloved, transitioned about 6 months ago. So some of the people in the family aren't surprised that he went to go be with her. But it's interesting to be down here and in the synchronicity of things in 2021. You know how that works, and to be down here when this occurred and be able to see family members I haven't seen in many years. So it's bittersweet, but it's all good. We got 41 people in the house, and Victoria's here. We haven't seen Victoria in a while. Where are you at now? Are you in Sedona? Are you going to Sedona?
No, not yet. And Todd, by the way, I can't see you. Am I supposed to be able to see you?
That's okay. No.
Oh,
as long as you can hear me. Yeah, some of these new phones, it's not working. But we're gonna change apps soon, and it shouldn't be a problem after that.
Okay. Well, I'm still in Colorado, but I am headed to Sedona the end of next week, and it's a very special anniversary for me because in 1994, the first merkabah appeared above my head on Snubby Hill in Sedona.
Where was it in Sedona? Where was it?
It was at Snabley Hill on February 27th, 1994. So
God, that was a long time ago. That was a long time ago.
And then I will be putting on an event in Sedona on March 5th.
Wow.
So,
March the 5th.
Exciting.
Very cool. Yeah, we're going to have our first Soulogy Fest. It's going to be May 28th, 29th, and 30th in Sedona.
Oh, well, maybe I'll be back.
Yeah, and I'm going to go ahead and tag you on this so it'll show up on your page. Yeah, and I know Sandra Walters is having something going on the weekend before that. So I think we're going to see more and more of these gatherings as the year goes on. As the year goes on.
Oh, it's fine. We're ready. We need to get the family together, and it's just so important.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. And so, what's been going on since we last talked? I know you've moved back. You were in Utah. You went back to Colorado.
Well, that was a year ago. I've been back to Colorado for a year.
Oh, you've been back for a year.
Yes. But it's been a strange year, of course, for my business with all the hoopla of COVID. And I was going to be leaving for Utah prior to this trip to Sedona, but they got 18 inches of snow. And I'm tired of winter. I'm really freezing my little tush off here in Colorado. I'm ready to get some warmth. So I have been in Pagosa now for a year, and have a new office, but it's possible that I may be doing kind of a split thing between Sedona and Pagosa. I'm not sure, but I will tell you it has been a roller coaster of fabulous celestial encounters, as well as I've been having visions almost every night for the last 60 days.
Yeah.
And teleportation.
Oh,
And
really?
also been shown, I've been going back and forth to the second earth, Todd. I've been doing
Wow.
this for a while, but it's been so intense. I mean, I can't wait to go to bed at night because uh, it is just outrageous. So I have some really important present current visions I want to share today. And some of them
Yeah.
have actually unfolded. I saw this ice storm coming 2 weeks before it happened as a giant foam, a giant white foam covering the earth.
Wow.
And I wasn't sure exactly what it meant. I didn't know that it was going to mean an ice storm or snow, but I was in a blizzard a few days ago here, and the blizzard lasted for 20 minutes, and there was 3 inches of this white stuff all over my car, but it did not look like snow. I picked it up, and it looked like crumbled styrofoam.
Wow.
It's like they are doing things in disguise. We all know this, but
Yeah.
it's like when you see it in your hand, and then when you you can smell it, like the air isn't clean and fresh when it snows. We've got a lot going on, and oh, my heart goes out to you, Todd, down there in Texas. I have family and friends in Texas and Oklahoma, and I know everybody's been hit really hard with this weather, but I saw it 2.5 weeks before it started
Yeah.
to unfold.
I asked a couple of people because I was telling them that, I think it really started somewhere between that December 12th and December 21st equinox. But
Yes.
so for about the same period, about 60 days, there's been a real ramping up of what I would call galactic intel. That a little bit. I've asked a few people on the show, and I'm looking at some of the comments, people talking about their dreams and such. I wanted to ask you, so based on everything that you just said, I want to talk about that teleportation in a second because I'm really interested to see how that's going down. But so when you're getting these messages, I know, like, everyone knows that when Morgan and I lay down at night, we put our hands together, and that's when things start. And but sometimes it occurs through her channel. Sometimes it occurs both of us independently, telepathically receiving the same information. We'll talk about it the next day. And sometimes it occurs, I would say, in the space of, where you're kind of asleep and you're awake, and you're kind of asleep and awake. And I know it happens to her a lot, and other people, like when they wake up the next morning, they're still getting information. So for you, is it happening? Are you consciously experiencing this in an awake state? Are you in a different type of state? And then from there, can you talk about the teleportation? Because I have a feeling that we're all going to start experiencing this type of stuff.
We're already teleporting, all of us. I know this, but first I'll talk about what experiences to me. I can't wait to go to bed at night because I'm just lit, and many nights it won't start coming in until, if I get up about 2 or 3, I'll start. Then when I go back to sleep, then I'll go into the vision. Some nights I'll be in a specific vision from the time I went back to bed, say at 4 o'clock to 8 o'clock. It was a 4-hour jam-packed vision. But the other night, it's so interesting. I'm glad you asked, because I was aware of myself sitting up and talking in the dark, like there were people in my room. And I said, all of these things are happening, these visions and this and this and this. And if you want to know more, listen in with Todd and I on Friday, and I'm talking to the dark. And it was like I was watching, I startled myself because I could hear myself talking out loud to the dark. So I know everyone is having more visions, and we are we are teleporting at night. Now, when you wake up at 2:22, 3:33, 40:44, that's when you've come back into your body. And I'm sorry, things are showing up on my screen. Are you seeing those things? You're not seeing those things. What
are you seeing exactly, or what?
Oh, the news bulletins. I thought I turned all that off, but you're not seeing.
No, I'm not seeing them. You might be seeing comments from people. There's a lot of comments. We have all the comments.
No, I'm not seeing. No, okay. No. This is the news flashes. But anyway, so when we come back into our body, that's when we wake up and we see the time, and it's a profound number. But we have been teleporting back and forth onto the ships. We've been teleporting back and forth, actually, to the second Earth. It is there. It's been waiting. I saw it in the vision in '97, as you remember. I've shared. I've been broken record for many years, and but we're in orientation. We're in meetings. We're organizing. We're preparing, because as sure as I live and breathe, Todd, I know that most of our aspect of ourself is already there on that reality, that dimensional layer, the second Earth, whatever you want to see it. Now, I saw a literal planet come in and merge with our planet and collect those ready to go, and then move away so that this Earth can go through the cleansing. And I really believe, I mean, it's not that I have to always be right, but I really think I'm accurate, I promise. Right. And so, like, there's little of us interacting here, and we're really ready. We're saying, people write to me and they say, Victoria, please, will you just tell them to step on it, please? I mean, we've had enough. Humanity's hit the wall, and it's just, you think it won't get more complicated, and it just gets more gnarly. And I want to share something really special with you. The vision I had a few days ago. I was at an Aztec temple like Chichen Itza or someplace like that, and I'd been doing all these healings. I've been doing a lot of activations on people, especially ones that have had the vaccination and they're having side effects. So I've been working on them. And this night I had an individual, and I turned to, I guess, the king or the council or something, and I said, we need to heal this person. And he put a crown. He took the crown off of his head, and he put it on my head. And he said, Victoria, you're in charge now. And I'm just like so humbled, moved. But I've known for a long time, Todd, that I've been preparing for this mission, since 1994, when the first merkabah started coming out of my head. The merkabah was shown in those pictures that I sent to you. And I don't know if you want to put any of those up, but they're either pointing up or they're pointing down. And what this means is ascending and descending.
Right.
Leaving from an area of our life cycle. We've been here many times, and then returning. And so I don't know. I have so much to share. So you just
I,
ask me what you want to ask me, and then
yeah. Well, no, because see, the interesting thing is that I've always been a big believer that whatever somebody receives, and I can really speak for myself, but I've heard others say the same thing. Whatever we receive is first and foremost meant for ourselves. And
yes,
but then talking to people doing the show, I see where they're actually saying the same thing, because as the individual goes, so goes the collective, right?
reporting for
And
duty kind of thing.
exactly. So there's
Mhm.
a metaphoric aspect, and this is one thing that I've been looking at, specifically the last 60 days, like you're talking about, since mid-December, because I'm watching everything. And, people have talked about a lot of different ways, and I think when people explain it, we can explain it from our human aspects level of comprehension and experience, right? So
Yes.
there's a literal kind of a physical aspect to it. But as I listen to you and I think about, I consider a fact, which is that consciousness is perception, and perception, not really strictly a human aspect word, but what we believe, right? What we can accept and allow. So when you talk about, and others talk about, the new earth, and we talk about teleportation, not just being in this conscious state, but being in another part of our conscious state, which may very well be new earth, right? What I'm trying to say is I wonder, especially over these last few weeks, and even looking at some of these comments people are making, that we're actually going there, and more of our memory is being activated, and more of our consciousness is spent there in a wake state. And I just wonder if that's how the transition is going to go. But I know over
I,
the last 60 days, Morgan and I have had many experiences that are moving very quickly. And a lot of people are saying that that's what's happening to them. There's a lot of things happening, just like me coming down here. We came down here, there was no storm in sight. We were swimming in a pool the first couple of days, and the next thing you know, all hell breaks loose. There's no water, and for days. I mean, there's no electricity in some parts of the city. And then, of course, on a personal level, these things happen with my uncle transitioning, and then reuniting with family members. And so there's all of these alignments upon alignments that are creating a singular alignment. And regardless of how distorted the narratives are, and how scary they might seem, for many of us, I think we're not in fear.
oh,
And to
not
me,
at
that's
all.
yeah, yeah.
Not at all. It's, and I'm so happy that you share that, Todd, because so many people have expressed to me, and I know they expressed to you, that they don't feel like they're in their body. They feel like they're watching themselves going through the motions, but they're bilocating. They feel like they're in several places at once. And these are all the signs and the clues. And we are being shown the earth signs, the weather signs, this crumbling reality that we're leaving behind, and heartbreaking seeing the division that's happening with humanity, which is very difficult because I know what it's like to be judged or rejected for what I believe or what I've captured on film for
Welcome to the club.
years, for years. Doesn't bother me at all.
Yeah.
But I think that the heartbreaking thing is when you have beloved friends and family that all of a sudden their consciousness has been blindfolded, maybe from watching the news or whatever, and they're getting subliminal messages and they're being told certain things, and they look at you and say, well, I just don't get you, and you're just a warmonger, or you're just this or that, and it's heartbreaking. And but I know I've had, Jesus has been coming to me a lot, as well as St. Peter, I'll tell you about in a little bit. And he just said, don't worry, because it will all be worked out. I'm still talking about the big sleep. I know we're going to do a big sleep, but we're in the preliminary process of that big sleep right now, what we're doing in our nightscapes, okay?
Yeah.
And then once we do the big sleep, which everybody will do, individuals that still are confused or working out maybe, where they want to go, they'll work through that. Don't worry about it. They'll have an opportunity. They can either be changed in a twinkling of an eye and be with us in harmony and bliss and in second earth energy. Even when we're at second earth, we will have the opportunity to do our intergalactic travel and come back and forth. I know that I'll be doing it. I'm sure that many people are relating to that because they feel connected to the other planets. So right now, we have to just stay in compassion and not react when people reject us or judge us. And we do not judge them because we love them. We honor them. They have their free agency to be where they are on their journey. But we are getting very, very close. I know everyone feels it. And even people that aren't like us, Todd, even people that are mainstream, they're saying, Victoria, I'm really feeling something very huge coming. And I said, well, based on the visions I've had of the bridegroom coming, preparing bouquets from the wheat, from the tares, with all these women, we're taking the wheat, we're taking the roses, we're wrapping it with ribbon, and we're preparing. And there is the separation. The wheat from the tares represents, the tares are the believers, or the wheat is the believers, and the tares is the non-believers. Okay, and so this division's happening. We just have to stay in the love and really embrace our divine intelligence, our Christ consciousness, our I am. And we've been waiting so long for this. And I know, I think my journey to Sedona is going to be outrageous because
I'm sure it's going to be.
My last trip there, the ship, I drove up to the mountain at night. The ship was waiting for me. The car started rocking back and forth. It wasn't windy anywhere else, but my car was rocking. I filmed for 13 minutes, shared some really important things. It was very close, very low. And suddenly it was taken off my phone. It disappeared. They didn't want me sharing that one. So I started to film again, 3 minutes this time. And just as I was finishing my last words about the second earth, the camera went dark. You could hear my voice and you heard this whoosh. And I think they took me and the car.
Sure.
I kid you not, Todd. And when I came back to my awareness, I was driving. I didn't know where I was. I didn't have my glasses to drive in the dark. I was lost. I had missing time. And all of a sudden, my phone started talking to me and giving me Google directions to a grocery store that I had typed in earlier that day. And it's like the Galactics turned that on. And they said, yeah, well, you're on this trail and you need to make a right. And it winded me back to the village of Oak Creek because I didn't know where I was. Well, I mean, every day was spectacular. You want to ask me something?
Well, I was going to comment and ask you. Yeah, I dare ask you, and you actually led right into it. But because you said earlier about visiting the earth and then our consciousness, I would like describe an awake state, regardless of whether we're really or not awake. So that whole thing and about what the really is. Okay. And so what I'm getting at is, because I know you've been in these circles a long time. There's a guy by Juan O'Savin, okay?
Yes.
And his areas. So, I keep tabs on all of the conspiracy and disclosure and lightworker platforms that I can to keep myself informed, also to help me find the content and the contrast to discern, do the work that I do, right? So yesterday I was watching, because 107 has been very, I would have to say, fairly reputable. A lot of the stuff that he said has kind of fallen in line with what's transpired to a degree. But it was interesting because he was on Project Camelot a couple of days ago, and also keep.
Really? Did they actually show him? Did they show his face?
No, they didn't show his face. But there was a couple of interesting things. Okay, and then this will be my comment and my question. But so one of the things was, I noticed that there was 250,000 views in a very short period of time. I followed Project Camelot for 10 years, and I know what kind of volume normally. This was extraordinary. Me, many people were listening in because of the apparent credibility that he had. Now, I'm not knocking Juan or Carrie Cass, anybody. I'm just trying to get to a point, a comment and a question. So the good thing about Carrie Cassidy is she does ask some very pointed questions, right? She does a pretty good job of that. And the answers that he was giving me just don't hold water anymore. For instance, the people been arrested and the tribunal, they've been sent to, there's been tribunals. I mean, there was a lot of different stuff out there, and it really wasn't so much the words, it was kind of the frequency just doesn't hold water. So what I'm getting at, and one of the things, the election, since all the things going back and forth and all these predictions and the late night videos, cars pulling the White House, you had Biden in Castle Rock studio, all that stuff, right? But it seems like that more and more people in these communities are not buying in the external, which is these narratives of the white hats coming and all that. I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm not saying that's not going to happen. What I am saying is that
we just don't know, Todd.
Yeah. But so my question to you is, you've been doing this a long time. You've been involved in time. And it just seems to me at the end of the day, it's down to what we, and I don't mean from a human aspect definition only. I mean believe as in what we be. Pamela Johnson, our beloved sister, just put up a couple ago.
From our divine consciousness. I mean, each of us have that.
Exactly. And so if we
and all of the other 3D, all of the hoopla, all of the drama and trauma and everything, I don't watch too much of that myself,
right?
Because I mean, I know it's happening, but finish your question. Ask me what you think.
Well, yeah, what I was going to ask you was, it seems like, for comparison, if you go back a few years, we of course, you go back to 9/11, and then you have all these little false flags, Paris and Las Vegas and Dallas and all these false flags. And as time went on, you don't see them anymore because they didn't work. They're not working anymore. They're not holding water. And I guess what I'm trying to say is that we are the story. The individual is the unity consciousness. And I'm asking you, are you seeing a change in your friends and your acquaintances and your colleagues? And I'm not saying anyone individually, but I'm just saying as a collective group, as a cell on the earth, are you seeing people starting to really stand to the thine own self be true and the true conscious co-creator? And in other words, internalizing this whole thing and going within to a higher degree versus following these narratives and hoping someone's going to come save us. You know what I mean? Are you seeing that? Have you seen that change?
I am seeing a wonderful acceleration of the commitment of our tribe, and also people that are waking up and they're saying, you know what, I'm in charge. And I think that's what that vision was about, is Victoria, you are in charge now. I think that that was a symbolic thing. And each of us have to, I mean, it's like, I don't have time to be watching all of the sagas. I know they're there. But you know what? I know from my journey, I know my life isn't going to be in this 3D. I'm not trying to, I do not believe, I do not believe that the 3D is going to be healed. It's going to stay and do its rigmarole and its chaos and its BS. And we're leaving, but we're leaving. We're not leaving on a ship, but our light body has been changed. We're almost complete now. They're waiting till we and our molecular structure, our light body has completed that. And then we are out of here. We are out of here. And it's through our own heart, soul promise, our eternal cell memory of knowing where we deserve to be. We deserve to be on an earth that's beautiful, that's in harmony, that it's unlimited manifestation. You know, a lot of us are waiting for all these investments that never seem to come in. And I just keep saying that by the time they come in, we're not going to be here and we're not going to need it. But yeah, we'll have med beds and all those things.
Yeah. I think we are the med bed.
We are the med bed. Well,
I want to go back to
my hands are the med bed, Todd.
There you go.
Let me tell you.
I want to go back to this. I want to go back to this comment that Pamela, our beloved sister, made. And I want to find it because I don't want to try to remember how she said it. But what she was basically saying, I can't find it now. There's too many comments coming in. But what she was saying is that, because I hear a lot of people, I know a lot of us have had to integrate or neutralize or transform the wounded healer. So we spend a lot of time working with other people, and of course that means time less with ourselves. But she said, oh, here it is. The path we create, right? And that's from the internal, stays open for more.
Yes.
Can travel that path at their own sovereign pace. So what I was getting at is, that's another thing I've seen, is people moving away from the wounded healer type of service, which is kind of a avoidance of our own stuff, right? Which that's the key. So it's kind of transformed into pure service, which is service to myself.
Service. Totally service, Todd. Right. Truly. It is. And you know, I talk to people constantly. I mean, some days I'm on the phone from 9 in the morning till 5 at night. And some of the people, you know, I'll share something and they say, well, I don't care about them. I'm just going through this and this and this and this. And I just, you know, it hurts my heart. And I can't scold them, but I just think that a lot of people, problem is they're watching too much of the 3D stuff. And even when they think they're enlightened, they feel like they're on the path. But to me, that's like poison. So I'm not going to pollute my energy field by watching too much. And you know, I think I've watched maybe 5 minutes of Savan. But and I'm not saying it's this or that. I'm not making any judgment. It's just that I have been really protecting my energy field, and I know that's why I'm having so many visions. I mean, night after night, I've never had so much download and visions in jam-packed, and then have it manifest. I mean, I saw a ship flying by my window, and then I saw a regular one of our white helicopters above it. And I thought, well, I think they're showing me the intergalactic travel. Well, 2 weeks later, that photo I sent you of the ship with the windows, that was right outside my door.
Was that the one you sent me before that was in the room on the wall? Or was this a different one?
No,
okay, hang on.
I sent this one to you in Messenger just right, a week ago when we decided to do the show.
I got you. Yeah.
And the thing is, I walked out to my car. I'd been working. It was night, and I saw one of the big V ships hovering over the road. So this is my new camera I got because the other one died. I mean, it cost me a fortune to replace this thing, but whatever. It's got 20x, so I should be happy about it. I am. But I shot the camera at the ship, and when the photo appeared, there you see that little image. Well, that image looks exactly what I saw in my vision 2.5 weeks before. I mean, I thought, okay, there you go. And well, I really want to share this thing about St. Peter because that happened with St. Peter right after I filmed that ship.
Right.
Hanging over the road by my house. That night, I was on the second earth. My dog is very much alive there, Todd. I mean, he's always hanging around with me, and you want to go for a walk, and then I turn around, and St. Peter and one of the apostles is walking down the hall towards me, and I said, "Oh, Peter, so good to see you." And he came up and he laid his hands on my head and my hair, and he said, "Please tell humanity you do not have to die to come to the gates of heaven." And since then, my headaches that I had from my brain injury, my head injury I had about 4 years ago, really subsided a great deal. So I want to say this. A lot of people are writing to me about their dreams of weddings, being in wedding dresses. I think you remember me telling you last year I had a dream about these white negligees, and it was the kind you wear on a wedding night. I felt like it was, sort of correlating to the return of the bridegroom and the Christ consciousness. But people are having so many signs. And the other day, a lot of them had dreams that they were pregnant, and they saw their baby. It was blue-eyed and blonde and brand new and fresh and clean and beautiful. And it's symbolic that we are birthing. We are birthing the new earth. Of course, my sons are already waiting on the ship for me, and I had them, in 1994 after the merkabah appeared on my head, and they're waiting. I see them often. I see their father often.
Do you have full recall of these events? I'm just curious. Do you
total?
So in terms of your teleportation,
yes,
is this the type of thing you're talking about? Hang on, I'm trying to get my camera fixed.
Well, I know when I've teleported because when I come to in the morning, I'm laying on a diagonal outside my covers, and the lights are all still on in the house. I mean, I barely sat down on my bed, and I was gone. And the ships have been hanging outside my house every night, Todd, and they are big ships. The ship that took me up in Sedona a month ago, it was a big ship. I mean, all the lights, and I had sent you the footage from when I was at a friend's house on December 20th, and I mean, that ship, she had never seen him before, and we were out filming him, and it was so low and so close and all the colors. But I'll tell you this also. Over the years, I've realized, and I think we talked about this on another show, but we've been going back and forth. They teleport us all day long. We put something down, leave the room, come back, it's not there. We discussed that in the last show. And that's because we are going back and forth.
Yeah.
I disappeared when I was 17 at the Colosseum in Italy. My group left. They didn't know I wasn't with them. And I ended up, getting on a bus and riding around town, and I didn't know I didn't know what I was doing. And I got off the bus, and there my group was on the other side of town. And Rome is big. It's not a town; it's a city. So I think the beautiful thing is people are starting to remember. And I say, before you go to sleep at night, have a little talk with your subconscious mind and your divine mind, and just say, I give you permission to remove the veil so that I can remember more what I'm doing. And we will remember more what we're doing if we disconnect from the 3D.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
You have to cut the cord.
Yeah.
You have to cut that cord, Todd.
I totally agree with you. It's kind of a tricky scenario because, if you look at different things, like, for instance, I totally agree with you in terms of, to start with, extracting ourselves from the financial system, from the governmental systems, from passports, licenses. And I know this sounds radical, but I think if there's anything one of the things that we can put our finger on is that when we take certain actions in the physical, that it has a very powerful energetic impact. And it's worked for all of us in the past. And why wouldn't it work for these things that seem more embedded into the matrix, right? But also, if you look at things like the situation I'm in now, coming here and interacting, and interacting with family, though. Yes. Well, the catastrophic part of it is you're right about that, because Morgan and I looked at each other, and we had some downloads, and we had some things come to us that we talked about, which had to do with we're to stay calm. We're to just be ourselves, no matter what happens, right?
You're holding the grid. You're holding the grid there, Todd. Yeah, there's no accidents. You were supposed to be there.
I know that. Yeah. And then if you look at the family thing that I'm going through, which am I in the 3D by these interactions? What I'm starting to see is that I'm actually bringing my frequency into these scenarios and these relationships and these interactions, and let's see what happens. It's another form of merging. And so I agree with you. I think there's no doubt in my mind, because it's an all or nothing situation. I think there's no doubt that in order for us to get to, let's say we call it 5D or New Earth, you can't do that if you've got your 1 foot on the old Earth. So what does that mean? What does that mean? That means a lot of things. It affects the way that we communicate with people. It affects the way that we have confidence or reliability or follow the guidance of our intuition in terms of trusting ourselves. And I'm talking about, for instance, something like whenever somebody with an agenda comes towards you, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying you might be able to see it and hear it more from your intuitive levels, right? And you then follow your actions and your thoughts and words follow your guidance, and that to me alters the frequency. You certainly have altered your own frequency, but I guess at the end of the day, it's what you were saying earlier. We really do change this external from the inside out. So it has nothing to do with anyone else. In fact, and you said about service, it's all about service. If we really want to serve, we first and foremost serve ourselves, because if we truly are in alignment and in purity of serving ourselves, we're equally serving everything external to us.
And when we stay in that peace and that vibration, that energy field, that aura, that frequency that resides around us, we are blessing people and serving them without them even knowing it. Because, we're moving into our light bodies, and, we're kind of floating around, and we might touch somebody's shoulder or give them a smile or give them a hug or listen to them for a few minutes and not necessarily engage or, not provide advice or anything, but just be present as we are present in each and every moment, as we live each and every moment, and we appreciate each moment, because we're on the tail end of this little journey here. The next journeys I'm so excited about, but enjoy the ride while you're here.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
with your loved ones. See, I mean, when I've been going back and forth, I see, my father's been gone 37 years. My mom's been gone 44 years. I see them, the parallel reality, all the people that have left through physical death, their essence is there, and we will be able to unite with them as we change. Fortunately, we're not going to have to go through physical death. A lot of us aren't. Now, some are, because their earth suits are wearing out. And I wanted to mention, I think I've almost become a breatharian, Todd.
Really? Are you not eating?
I'm not hungry. I'm doing like 4 bodywork sessions a day on no food, no water. I don't need anything. And
wow.
I'm telling you, this is big. I mean, the other day, it went from 9 till 5. I was on the phone. I was in the zone with everybody. And I thought, oh my gosh, I haven't even had a sip of water. I haven't eaten anything. I'm not hungry. And when I try to eat, I have to throw it out. I've thrown so much. I can't eat. Wow. So I know this is happening. I've been comparing notes with a lot of people on this stuff. So these are things to be aware of. And hey, just go with it. We just have to go with it, because one thing I wanted to mention is we have our new physical form, and we're going to be moving into a new meridian of time. And I've talked a lot about Dr. Hertak's Keys of Enoch, and that his wonderful book is jam-packed full of the transformation that we're going to be going through as we move into light from matter. And there's just, oh my gosh, there's so much to look forward to. And I hope people can come. My event is it's a love donation. I did one a month ago. We organized it in just 6 days.
So you're going to do this event in Sedona on March the 5th. Yes. Where's it going to be at in Sedona?
It's going to be at the Church of the Golden Age, and that's run by Bashes. And
by Bashes, okay.
And people
I always want to call that place Bashar.
Oh, Bashar. People should try to reserve their seat. I think it'll hold 50 people there.
Okay.
I did an event in January. We had 30 people with 6 days notice that came, but this event's going to be a little different than that one. That one, we took people up on the mountain to have contact as well. But
how did that go?
Well, we had a good time up there. There were 5 ships that were hovering along the edge of the mountain at Snebley Hill, but the wind was it was harsh. It was cold, and some people got a few things on film. So that
Really?
didn't turn out to be a gigantic experience. Although when there's wind, I know that the ships could have possibly beamed us up and beamed us back, and us not be aware of it. But
Do you think
well,
do you think that's us on the ships, our galactic selves?
oh yes,
That one
absolutely.
individual.
Yes, yes, I've known this for years, Todd. I'm glad you brought this up. We're orchestrating our contact from here and there. And I know that I
Mm-hmm.
have been. But what I wanted to share is the night after we had
Mm.
our group experience, I was in my motel with uh, three of my soul sisters, my star sisters, and I said, there's the wind. It's so cold. I don't think I want to go out on the mountain again. And we all started to get kind of this pressure across our forehead. And they said, well, yeah, we kind of feel that way too. Divine Roberts, Dorinda, Cinderella, we were all there. I went out to the car to get something and I came back in and I says, the ship's here. It's right out here. It's right outside the
Oh
hotel.
my God.
And so
Did everybody see it? Did everybody see it?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And I filmed it. I mean, I
Oh, wow.
filmed it.
Was that wasn't the December 19th one, was it? Or was
No, no, that was
Okay.
that was that was in January and I did a mistake. It was actually January 15th, but on YouTube it's listed as January 25th, and that was a boo-boo when I posted it. But it was magnificent. And my YouTube, I've got, I probably got 70 videos on there now. But if they look for January 25th, that was with my sisters. And then the December 20th. I mean, there's just been so much. But now what the ships are doing, they're coming in multiple Christmas colors. And I mean, you can hear the gals in the background. They're very excited. And but I'm sure that we'll be doing some group things out on the mountain, but I don't want to tie it in with the presentation because this is going to be really important for each and every person. I've said, please bring your divine light, bring your presence. I want the tribe to be together because there's more and more information coming through every day. And then we'll create what we're going to be doing together in Sedona while I'm still there.
Do you have a specific theme to the presentation at that church?
Well, the title is Visions, Signs, Galactic Contact, and Merging with Our New Earth. And then I will be sharing clips of live footage on DVD. I'm not showing my whole movie. I'm just showing clips. We're going to have a group really intense meditation so that we can anchor some things in for the planet. We will be doing question and answers. There'll be a healing, but they'll be able to witness the Chariot of Ezekiel that I filmed in Sedona in the year 2000. They'll be able to see it on film, see it in slow motion where it goes into 400 pictographic images, the sacred language of light. They will be able to see that. As they see it, it will be activating their third eye and their cell memory because we came from the future. We came here to assist. We know the outcome. It's all going to work out. But we're not going to be hanging out here in the trenches. We're going to be moving into the golden age, into heaven on the second earth. And so they will love it because this little church, I mean, they have a big screen TV and we'll be able to do things. It will be wonderful. And it's just a high vibration. And when we get together, I know this, that the frequency and the energy of our group, we're actually going on the ship. We're on the ship. I had somebody kind of sarcastically say to me one day, Todd, they says, well, sorry, I'm not going to drink the Kool-Aid. And I know you probably remember years ago, there was this guy that he called himself Heaven's Gate, and everybody drank Kool-Aid and died. They all committed suicide. I mean, you know, I just said, you know, I'm pretty shocked, as evolved as you are, that you would say something so derogatory to me. But, you know, hey, people think they're being really funny. But
I want to ask you something, because I've talked to a few people, and of course, if you read Dr. Stephen Greer, you know, with the protocol for the contact, or my friend Greg Sullivan, who runs J SETI in Japan.
Yes,
I've seen some. He's very good. But I was wondering, in your case, have you? Because they talk about the telepathy between the ships and themselves. Have you experienced that? Have you asked like specific questions to the ships when you've seen them? Have you ever done that? I mean, no right or wrong. I'm just curious.
Well, I actually have discussions with the galactics before I orchestrate any. I mean, I've taken large groups out. And
so you set it up, like and that's what I've seen.
I set it up, and sometimes 2 months in advance, when I've had people coming from Hollywood to film me at Snebley Hill, and the ships came right on time. They did everything that I told the producers. They're, you know, we're going to have this. We're going to have like 15 light flares. They fly over us, and that means the big ship's coming from this direction. But telepathically, and sometimes it's been raining, like when I had the group in Scottsdale with the large blimp, double orb blimp came over the whole group. I organized that a month in advance, and it had been raining. And I said, guys, okay, are you still going to come? Yep, we're going to come. Came right on time.
And I'm just curious, because everybody's clairs are different, but how are they communicating to you? Is it through telepathy or intuition, or is it through another class?
Well, you know, clairaudientness is telepathy. I was 100% telepathic with my parents when I was a child, and I'm telepathic with my clients. Their body talks to me while I'm working on them, and I get all kinds of messages, and they never open their mouth, but I get their next question telepathically. So, yeah, the telepathic thing is, I mean, you know, I give credit to Stephen, but Stephen and I are very different. We're very different from each other, but I bless him and wish him well.
Yeah, I don't totally resonate with everything he
does.
Yeah.
But I believe that if with our group that we'll have together, I believe that we will be able to activate something very profound. And I've known since 94 that I was going to return to Sedona and gather the family together and go to the mountain, go to the vortex. And I'm not sure which one we're going to go to this time. I'm hoping the wind calms down a little bit, because
hope the sun comes out for you.
I had 85-year-old people on the mountain with me, you know, standing there. I mean, people pretty much have been. I feel grateful, and I just want to say right now, I thank you, Todd. I thank you, all the Facebook people that follow my posts. I thank you for your presence and your support, because, you know, it's not been an easy road. And, you know, you walk through the valley of bullets, and, you know, but it doesn't phase you. You just have to do what you have to do. And right now, each and every soul has to go inside and be true to their self, true to their intuition, and give permission to acknowledge that intuition, honor the accuracy, honor your dreams and your visions. Love your body. Do whatever you're guided to do, even if you look like you're crazy.
That's what got us all here, isn't it?
Well, I just think it's a wonderful. I like being on the edge, and it doesn't bother me at all. People can throw stones or arrows at me; it doesn't matter. But that's ending, and I think humanity. They're waiting for those of us that are on the forefront. We are here. We are here to activate, to initiate, to create, and orchestrate this divine transformation for our Mother Earth. She's been waiting. She's ready. She's tired. She's tired here, but she's glistening over here. And I know truly, as sure as I live, that I've seen the new Sedona on the new Earth. I've seen Mount Shasta on the new Earth. All the things that we love. The streams, the mountains, the animals, the flowers, the food, the joy, the service, the gathering together. One night I was with a whole group of people, and we were dancing in ceremony. We were celebrating, and all I can say is I'm in bliss every day, every single day, Todd. And I'm going to be making a donation to you again.
Thank you.
And I encourage everyone. I'm just so grateful for your dedication, your sacrifices, your service. And we need to get you some finances over there while you're kind of stuck in this. Is it still, freezing? Is it still freezing and snowing?
Actually, it's cleared up today, and the water came on yesterday morning. I took a shower as soon as I knew it was on. We're going to hit the road tomorrow, so we're going to be back in Arkansas Sunday night with everything, because there's another storm came in yesterday. Yesterday, another storm came in. It hasn't hit this far south yet, although it's affected the temperature, but it's hitting I guess New Mexico, the Panhandle, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Mississippi, Louisiana, and even into Florida. So I don't know what it's going to look like, but I feel like the next 2 days, the forecast looks very clear, and we're either going to drive straight through tomorrow or get home on Sunday. We might stop in Fort Worth, and somebody's extended a bedroom for us if we need to stop and just to get some rest. But it's I'm excited that you're going to Sedona. That's March the 5th. Yeah, I know that's going to be very successful. Remember, the end of May, we're going to be doing our first Soulogy Fest. Morgan and I are going to work on that. This weekend, and I think there's going to be a lot of convergences occurring, and it feels right. And I just feel like that we all have a lot of momentum, and those things that seem impossible are possible. The reality of what your experience has been since 1994, the reality of what people are experiencing. People like Pamela, when she came on, talked about her journey. People like other people I know that even go back to the harmonic convergence in 1987. I feel like it's all coming together, and everything that's not true is crumbling, which is why I made reference to some of the narratives that have kind of played out and no longer hold any water. These are still distractions. Distractions can be presented as light. Distractions can be presented as dark. Distractions are distractions. Distractions are anything external of you that takes your power away. So I think we're coming into.
We trust. We have to trust, and like you say, we're in charge of this journey. And I wanted to mention I will be I'm offering some private sessions with people. They would be more energy activation kinds of things.
How do they get in touch with you? Let me put it onto the platform.
They can write to me at Victoria Liljenquist, Liljenquist @gmail.com. And I'm going to be staying over by the Chapel of the Holy Rock at a friend's house, and I'll be doing some healings. I won't be doing like, body massage stuff, but I'll be doing activations. And there's so much electric light that's flowing through my body all the time, Todd, since, Jesus he comes through his light, his love. And it just happens. I mean, I have to give him credit because I'm just a conduit. So have them get a hold of me. Have them call. Let me give you this phone number. If they the Church of the Golden Age, they can look that up online, and they can call that number to reserve their seat. I don't have her number right here at the moment.
Put it on here.
But
March 5th, Church of the Golden Age in Sedona.
And her name is Ariana, and she's extremely excited. She's talking to the Chamber of Commerce and really getting the flyers out, and so we'll have a great time. And but if people want to write to me and let me know they're coming, then if I organize some kind of an outing on vortexes prior to the event, then I will email them and tell them the details of how we'll do that. So
well, hopefully we can get this out. There's been 175 people on this live, so replays, there'll be a lot of replay action, so a lot of people will be able to hear this message. And I've posted all the information on all the platforms, including your Gmail and including the Church of the Golden Age on the March 5th in Sedona gathering. So I would love to talk to you longer. We've got 2 shows back to back.
Thank you so much. I know, dear heart. Thank you. God bless you. And Morgan, I love you with all my heart.
Hope to see you in May.
Hey, I'll come back to see you in May, and I might be living both places. I have a feeling that I probably going to have to do that. So thank you so much.
I love you.
Love you. God bless, and blessings to you.